Okay, so let's talk about how you can use your understanding of your unique traits based on your HumanOp technology results to create self-mastery. Now, we all know we are multifaceted individuals, and what I like to do is go back to the analogy of us being vehicles of ourselves and think of these traits as gears, right? Have you ever wondered why some days you are one way, in some situations you're a different way? It's almost as if you could say we are different animals depending on what's needed. And if people ever given you feedback saying, there are moments where you're in this situation and you're this way, and in another situation you're another way. Well, think of those as different gears you could potentially be in. Now, if you ever drove stick shift, you know that when you're climbing a mountain and you're going at a high grade, being at a really high gear is not the most efficient way to climb that mountain. In order to climb the mountain efficiently, you need a high torque gear to be into. You need to be in first or second or third, depending on how fast you're going, right? If you go any higher, then if you've ever driven stick, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll probably stall. Well, the same concept holds true on situations in life. For example, if you have a regal trait, which is a seeing trait, and it is where the natural born leader lives, and you're in a meeting where you are not the leader, or you're not leading the meeting, or you're in a situation where you are not the one that is responsible for guiding what happens or delegating, being in that same gear as the person who is actually supposed to be in that gear may create some conflict. Now, know that you're not just that gear. So self-mastery comes as you dive deeper to understand the unique traits that you have access to, is to make sure that you become really good at shifting gears, at identifying based on the situation you're in right now, what is the best trait that is optimally designed for you to help you make the most out of that situation. So if, let's say, in that same situation, your role is to provide support and maybe to create a kind of like a mama or a papa bear dynamic, right? Where you are supporting and nurturing the dynamic of the group, right? Then, instead of being in your regal trait, you might want to be in your sympathetic trait, which is where the natural born healer lives. It's a lot more laid back. It is also a seeing trait, but it sees differently from a regal trait. It's more situational, circumstantial. It's immediately what's in front. That's how that sympathetic trait can be so nurturing. And so I wanted to share a strategy and understanding of yet another way of how we can use the results that you have from your HumanOp results, if you have that already, and just focus on the traits. The traits are your gears, and self-mastery comes from your ability to be able to shift to the appropriate gear for the situation at hand. As you become more adept at this, like driving a car, it gets to a point where you don't really have to think about what gear you're in. And that way we can naturally move to the best gear for every situation on autopilot versus what we may have been inadvertently nurtured away from doing in our regular life due to societal cultural expectations.